Okay, 8 o'clock. Time to get started, folks. Now, I said I wasn't going to record this, and the reason I said I wasn't going to record this is because my recording is full, but I'm going to try anyway. So we'll see if we can record it, but I suspect we might get sort of 5 seconds of this or 5 minutes of it, but whatever we can get, we can get. And if we get it, then it's going to be a bonus. So that's it. So time for us to get started, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday How-To. And
do you mean Tuesday Newsday?
Tuesday Newsday, yeah. Too many meetings. So, okay, welcome to Tuesday Newsday then. One of us got it right. Thanks, Si. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a recap now on what happened at the weekend, because if you didn't get to Haydock for this weekend, you missed a treat. Rick Robury, whenever you get to see him, he is always on form. But this time he promised he was going to bring us what he said he was going to bring us everything that he normally brought us and a little bit more. He actually brought us a ton more, and he brought a level of excitement that's been missing for a while. Now, you've got to bear in mind that Rick had just been to France, and the meeting that he'd been to in France, he'd seen 6,000 people in a room. And I've got to be honest with you, and I know that Simon Brooks and Simon Kendrick also said the same thing. It was quite embarrassing that those guys have been building for less than a year and they can put 6,000 people into a room, and we couldn't get 50 in a room. And we just got to question what the level of excitement was. And I've got to talk about sort of, it's all very well saying we're British and we're more reserved and we don't get excited like that. There's got to be a time when you've got to, isn't there? So we wanted to know what it is they're doing that we're not, because that's the most obvious question. And Rick said, okay, well, let's tell you, and let's just see what the difference is. So he said, as he went round the world, and he did, first and foremost, he went to France, then he went on to Switzerland, and he saw a group of a few hundred in Switzerland. He then did a meeting in Portugal that wasn't even planned. Whilst he was in Switzerland, someone said, can we do one in Portugal tomorrow? And he said, okay. So at 24 hours notice, they got 100 people into a room at 24 hours notice to see him. And we said, well, go on, tell us, what was it they're doing that we're not? And he said, well, this is one of the first keys right at the top. You've forgotten what this business is about. You need to go back to basics, because Kuvera is not a Forex business. And in recent weeks and months, we have got so hung up on Forex. And it's understandable why people are making money out of it. And that's cool. We want people to make money. But the thing is, we're in network marketing. We're not necessarily just in Forex. Yes, Forex is part of our business, but we're in a whole lot more. But the ultimate idea with network marketing is to create a residual income. It's a long-term residual income. Because here's the thing with Forex. Forex is great, but there's a risk associated to Forex because A, you can lose money. But the most important thing, and this is the bit that always bothered me about it, that's the day that you stop trading, you also stop earning. But if you build a residual, you're building security for the rest of your life. Now, you all know by now that a few weeks ago, I was in hospital for a few weeks ago rather, and I was in for a week whilst I had a knee replaced. And I did a little bit of trading whilst I was in hospital, but to be honest with you, I really didn't feel like doing anything. And I didn't do any team building either. But the thing is, that whilst I was in hospital, it didn't stop anybody else in my team going out and finding someone else and bringing more people into the team, and the team kept on growing. Simon Brooks has had more than his share of health issues, and he works through it more than anybody I know, because the guy has an incredible work ethic. But even if he were to stop working, he knows that we wouldn't stop working, so his business will continue to grow. So he has a degree of security that Forex will never give you, because Forex can only work as long as those trades are being placed. Yes, we've got an auto trading system. We're going to tell you more about the auto trading system later on in the day. But that auto trading system has its limitations because first and foremost, it works with tiny lot sizes for your security. And secondly, the growth that you're getting is 10 to 12% a month. Now we've got to put that into perspective as well. 10 to 12% a month is phenomenal growth for doing nothing. It is mind-blowing growth. But then compared to what we get if we trade ourselves, we get maybe 3 times that. And compared to what we get if we build a team, that's when it gets crazy. And that's what we're talking about with France, because here's the thing. In France, there were 6,000 people there. There are kids there at 20 years old that have been in this business for less than a year and are earning 20 grand a month. 20 grand a month. How much money do you have to put into Forex to earn 20 grand a month? And could you deal with the heart failure if you got that big a lot size on and you saw a trade dive? I'd have kittens. I just couldn't handle that. But they're making 20 grand a month without talking about trading. They're talking about Kuvera and they're talking about building a business. So that's what we really need to get back to. We need to focus on that. Because here's the thing, and this is what Rick said. If we have a problem in the UK, and he doesn't think we do have a problem in the UK, what he said is we need to do a reset. And that was it. We just need to go back to basics. It's not that we have a problem. He said he thinks that we have exceptional leadership over here. He said some nice things about all of us. He said we have intelligent people. We've got a more mature audience. We've got, as far as he's concerned, one of his favorite audiences, because apart from anything else, we speak English and most of them don't. So there's a ton of reasons why he likes coming to England, and the Guinness as well, I think. But there's a lot of good reasons why he likes to come here, but we need to go back to basics. So that's what he talked to us about, and I want to go through the presentation as he did it. And we're going to talk about the basic building blocks of our business. And the most basic thing, as far as we're concerned in this business, is that you go out and you find 3 people. So we've all seen this kind of diagram drawn out tons and tons before. You go out, you find Tom. Tom says he wants to go on board. Then you talk to Mary. Mary says, yeah, she thinks sounds like a great idea. You then also talk to Jane, and Jane says she loves it. She wants to get started too. So you've got your 3 people. Now, when you find your 3 people, my pen's gone on the go slow. Don't know what happened there. But when you find your 3 people, your monthly subscription is waived. Now, straight off the bat, with a fabulous range of products, you have to pay for these products. But if you find 3 people, your subscription is waived. That saves you $2,400 a year. And you can put that $2,400 to work for you, because you could actually just put that into the auto trader. And whilst you continue building your team, that can be working for you without you having to do any messing about with it. So that's a building block. That's the fundamental building block of our business. But when it comes to actually building a business, building your team is a bit like building a skyscraper. And this was the way Rick described it again. And every one of those blocks of 1 who has 3 is just your starting point. That's 1 brick in the block, if you like. And the more bricks you put into the block, the bigger your skyscraper gets, or the bigger your business gets. So literally, the more blocks you've got, the bigger your business is. But more importantly, everyone else that's in there, every one of those blocks of 3 is another person building their own business, and they're building your business for you as well. And that's why it's exciting. So he stood in front of us and he said, I can tell you all right now how to make £1 million without investing a penny. I can tell you all how to do it right now. But you won't do it. I know you won't do it. And he said, all you've got to do is if you just go down to your local high street on a Saturday morning and you stand there all day long and you stop every person that walks past and you say, would you like to join a brand new network marketing company that's investing in investing in finance technology, and you can make a chunk of money at it? If you did that with every single person that walked past you, you could become a millionaire. But you won't do it. And he's right, because people can't take the rejection, because people don't like actually approaching strangers. There's a billion reasons why they can't do it. And I've got to be dead honest, I wouldn't do that either. You know, Simon Brooks and I'll tell you, we've actually done it in the past. We've gone out. Remember Simon going into the middle of Manchester, stopping people doing surveys, trying to get prospects?
Yeah, nightmare.
Soul destroying stuff.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you can get rich if you do it. So we need a better way than that. We need something that everybody can do. And that's when Rick came up with his system. Now, some of you have seen the system before, because some of you have seen Rick doing this before. And he teaches how to build a business by handing out a simple marketing card. Now, the thing is, some of you have seen it and a lot of you haven't seen it, because a lot of you weren't in this company back in December, the last time Rick was here, when he told us this. And we've stopped talking about it. And that's what Rick said. We've stopped talking about it. We need the reset. We need to start showing people the simplest, most basic way of building a business. Because what Rick does is he builds. He gets other people to do the work as well as him. He doesn't go out and recruit. You know, he's got 300,000 people in his team in 5 years, 300,000. But he didn't recruit 300,000 people. He recruited 22 people, and he went to work with them, and he taught them how to build a business. So how many cards do you need to hand out if you're going to get just one person to join your team? And we talked about numbers, and different people chuck numbers through, and he said, well, you know, you can't just expect to give a card to someone and they're going to join the business. That's just not realistic. That won't happen. And equally, you know, 3, 4, 5 cards, people won't do it. You have to, first of all, you've got to hand the cards out in the right way. But even then, you're probably going to have to put a number out, maybe 10, maybe even 20 cards, some cards to find one person. So we settled on that number. So we settled on, okay, let's assume that it's going to take 20 cards handed out in the correct way. And we're going to show you a way that will make it irresistible for people. But 20 cards handed out in the correct way, and people then follow the system that's laid out on that card. If they go through the system, 1 out of those 20 will join your business. So if you want to find 3 people, you're going to have to put 60 cards out. So why not, as you hand the card out, why not say to people, look, you know, I hand out 60 of these cards just the way I've shown you, and the company pays me for it. That make it sound like, well, I can hand cards out. Anybody can hand cards out. So let's make it look a bit more realistic, because if you hand your cards out and you find 3 people, and they all go out and they hand their cards out and they find 3 people, as soon as that's happened, the company pays you for it. Happy days, you know, that works for everybody. We can all do that. So how much does the company pay you as a generator? When you find your 3, who've also found 3, how much do you get paid? And the marketing plan says it's $500 a month. And I put a question mark at the end of there. Well, it is $500 a month. They do pay $500 a month, but is $500 a month really that exciting? Because I've talked to people about $500 a month when I first came into this business, and I heard people saying, well, you know, if you expect me to get excited about $500, that's really not going to happen. Well, okay, but it's $500, but it's $6,000 a year. So think about this. You hand out 60 cards, and you teach your guys to hand out 60 cards, and you get paid $6,000 a year. Does that sound more exciting? Does that sound like something that would have you saying, well, I can do that? And what about if you put some real perspective on it? Because if you're in this business for 10 years, then for handing 60 cards out, you're going to get paid $60,000 payable monthly for the next 10 years. You don't do any more work for it. They're already in. They're done. In fact, it's going to keep growing, but we're not going to cover that with them straight away. In fact, what Rick said is those 60 cards are worth $120,000 payable monthly for the next 20 years if you stick around in this business and they stick around this business. And if you can't get excited about the thought of handing out 60 cards to earn $120,000. You can see why the French are excited now, can't you? When you put it into perspective. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to get back to that. We've got to get people excited. So let's show you how it works, because it really is very, very simple. All we've got to do is have the right words to give people. But the card's got to be right as well. So this is the card we designed. And we designed this card a few months ago. And some of you guys have seen this card. Some of you guys have got this card. The card is very, very simple because it is a simple two-step system. Right at the top, the headline. Find the profit that's hiding in your phone. Okay. Someone's just come on, and I just need to see who that is and just mute that a little bit because... there we go. That's it. Okay, so the headline in that, Find the Profit That's Hiding in Your Phone, was actually a slight twist on a very, very famous headline for a book about investing. The book was actually, the title of the book was called Find the Profit That's Hiding in Your Wages. And that book with that headline was so successful, that book sold 3.5 million copies just because that was such a good headline. So I stole it. Well, I adapted it. Yeah. So that's our headline. And all we have to do is tell people there's just two steps. First of all, you visit profitfromyourmobile.com and watch the video that's on there. And step two, call me. My telephone number's on there. End of story. That's all that it takes. That's all you've got to explain to someone. So that's our card. So let's show you how we go through it, because how you hand your card over is critical. It's absolutely critical, because you've heard it said so many times in life. It's not what you say, it's how you say it that's important. How many times have you heard people say the wrong thing? And what they meant to say was really simple and it comes out completely and utterly wrong. There's nothing more true with this. So I'm going to teach you exactly what to say, but let's tell you who you're going to give the card to first of all, because this is a perfect way for you to get talking to absolutely anyone you know, but especially a good way to start talking to family, to start talking to friends, to start talking to people that you work with, or just people that you see in the pub, and basically anyone that you meet on a day-to-day basis. This is dead easy for you to just introduce a conversation with everyone. Now, it means predominantly that these are one market customers, but when you actually start talking to them, how do you bring up the subject and how do you hand a card out when you really don't want to pitch and you don't want to seem as if you're being too obviously selling? Well, Rick starts with a question. And the question that he starts up with is this. He says, when people turn around and say, what are you doing? He says, I've just gone into business with a really successful businessman, a friend of mine. And I was just wondering, if I could show you a way for you to make a chunk of extra money just using your phone with nothing to sell, would you like me to tell you about it, or would you prefer I kept it a secret? That little bit at the end, would you prefer I kept it a secret, is the magic in that sentence. Because that's the bit where you get permission for them to for you to tell them the story. You see, without it, you'll hear people say, I'm not interested, no, it's not for me, or whatever. But if you say, would I prefer I kept it a secret, it's just something irresistible, isn't it? You've just got to know what that is. So at that point, you get your marketing card out, and we've got to start calling it a marketing card, not a business card. Most people have business cards, and a business card has the company name on it, it has your name, and it has an address and a couple of other things. When I sold cars for a living, when I first started to sell cars, we weren't allowed business cards in the garage that I worked at. My manager called it a blowout kit, because people would come in and say, can I have a card and a brochure, and they'd walk out and we'd never sell them a car. So you just called it a blowout kit. We weren't allowed them. So a business card to me has always been just a cop-out and a way of letting a customer get away. This is a marketing card. So this is what you've got to do. You've got to do this really carefully. You get out your marketing card and you hold it in your hand. And you look at the card. You don't look at the person you're talking to. You say, come and have a look at this. and you look at the card, and you've got the card held out in one hand, and with the other hand, you point at the writing in the center, in that dark band in the middle of it. And you wait until they're looking at it. And there's something irresistible. People do, if they don't see you look away, if they don't see you look at them, their eyes are drawn to what you're pointing at. You're pointing at that line. So they've got to look. And when they're looking at it, then you turn around and you say, and you need to learn this word for word. This is really important, so you get this precisely right. But then you turn around and say, a lot of people are making a lot of money with this. There's just 2 steps. First, go to profitfromamobile.com. There's a short video there. It's only a few minutes long, made by my business partner. That'll tell you what it's all about. Then step 2 is call me. My number's there. And if you don't like what you see, just throw it away. And again, the just throw it away bit is the magic to it. When you tell people that it's okay to just throw it away, they go, well, okay, right. And then you give the card to them. Now, at that point, I would also add, when do you think you'll have 5 minutes so you can watch the video? So I know when I can make an appointment for them to call me back, because Simon will tell you that if you wait for people to call you back, it'll never happen. If you make an appointment for them to call you back, at least you can then follow them up and you can ask them a question. So find out when they're going to have 5 minutes to look at it, make an appointment to follow up with them then. Now, excuse me, I would say at this point, if they turn around and they tell you, if they turn around and say, what's it all about? Just tell them you're in a hurry. You haven't got time right now. You've got a million other things to do. You've got places to go, everything else, but you don't have time to explain it. Just watch the video and call me back. Never get into an explanation before they've seen the video, because they'll just bog you down. They'll ask you questions that are answered in the video anyway, but the chances are good you won't make points quite as well as they are in the video. And also, because these are people that you know, they're more likely to take Simon's word in the video than they are take your word for it, because they know you and they don't necessarily believe you, but they'll believe the person that they're seeing who's actually on the video. Now, when they call you back, then we've just got a follow-up call, and it's very, very simple. First question you're going to ask, okay, Mary, so did you watch the video? Now, if Mary says no, she hasn't watched the video, then you get her to watch the video now. You send her back and say, okay, you need to watch that before we go any further. The video only takes like 5-6 minutes. Go have a look at it right now, then give me a ring back in 10 minutes. Once she's seen the video and she calls you back, then it's time for what we call the 3-step closing system. I was waiting for the drum roll then, but I've got one. So we're going to go with what we call, or Rick calls, his 3-step closing system. And his 3-step closing system is fabulous. It's brilliant. It starts with a statement, not a question. And from a salesman with nearly 40 years of sales experience, I promise you this is the gentlest, most simple, and most powerful close I've ever come across. So what Rick starts by saying is, whenever I've seen something like this for myself, at this stage, I usually ask myself, am I a 1, 2, or a 3? A 1 means that I like the products and I'd like to become a customer. A 2 means that I love what I saw and I'd like to become a rep and a customer as well. And 3 means I'm not interested, it's just not for me. At this stage, would you say you were a 1, 2, or 3? And really, I don't mind what you say. I just want to know where you think you are. Now, you have to add that last bit in, because all along the while, we're giving people permission to say no. Most of the salespeople are trying to force them to say yes. You know, I was taught a billion different ways of getting people to say yes to buying a car. I was taught ways to get people to say yes to buying insurance when I sold insurance. I sold all sorts of things, and it was all about getting the yeses. We're inviting people to say no. What we're doing is taking pressure off them. And when you take pressure off people, your job is 20 times easier. So if they turn around and they say 1, then all you're going to do is give me a link. and you'll go through the order process with them. And they're saying, if they're saying one, they're saying they want to be a customer. Yeah. So they want to use the product. They maybe want to go on the auto trade or something like that, but they don't want to become a distributor. That's fine. You take them through the process, you guide them, you help them with setting everything up, and that's it. If you need any help with that, if you actually need some help in going through the process because you've only got started yourself, then you get on to your upline, and your upline will help you with it. If they turn around and they say they want to use the product themselves and they want to become a distributor, then you sign them up and you get on a three-way call with your upline, and your three-way call, your upline's then going to do the heavy work of going through how to get them started and get them rolling. And if you've been in the business any period of time yourself, you already need to know what to do. But number three is important. So if number three, they've just turned around and said they're not interested. This is hugely important. You do not try to change their mind. You don't turn around and ask them why. You don't try and convince them. You just say, great, tell me 3 people you think might like this, and I'll give them the same options. No pressure for them. And you don't say another word, nothing at all. And if it takes 5 minutes, you don't say anything. Silence can be horribly oppressive. They have to say something. But what they'll do is, they'll just, at this point in time, they'll feel guilty because they've just turned around and said no to you. And they know that if they give you 3 names, you're not going to put any pressure on these people anyway. They're going to have the same options. They can say no as well. So that's okay. They're not dropping the friends in it. So they'll give you 3 names. Now, what it means to you is that if someone turns around and says no to your business, the worst thing that can happen, as long as you actually give them the card and give them the opportunity to go through it and they see the video, you can only get 1 of 3 things can happen. Someone says, yes, I want to become a customer. Or someone says, yes, I want to become a distributor. Or someone says, here's 3 new prospects for you. Well, which one of those don't you like? You never run out of prospects this way. One of the biggest reasons that people give up in network marketing is they get started, talk to a few people say no to them, and then they've run out of people to talk to, so they leave. And that's why they turn around and say the business doesn't work, because they've run out of people to talk to. Well, if you stick to this, you will never, ever, ever run out of prospects, because the worst result you're ever going to get is 3 new prospects. And in fact, if enough people turn around and say no to you, well, you'll get rich. And I like that. Happy days with that as far as I'm concerned. Now, the other thing is that I'm going to go back to that. In fact, let me go back one page. One thing I think is hugely important with this is that you must use exactly those words when you turn around and you ask for that. And this is why. If you turn around and say, they turn around and say no. If you turn around and say, okay, can you think of 3 people? They'll say no. If you say, please, will you give me? They'll say, I'll think about it. You say, great, tell me 3 people you think might like this. You're giving them an instruction. It's not a request at this point, it's an instruction. Give me 3 names and shut up. And that makes a world of difference. And again, as I said to you before, and I've said a number of times in this, guys, I've been in sales for 40 years. And I've done this kind of close a dozen times over when I've been trying to get referrals from people. It's the most simple, powerful way of getting referrals ever. And it works every single time. Stick to that and you can't go wrong. Because you've actually given them an instruction and they're feeling guilty, but you're not giving them a hard time about saying no. You're not making them feel bad about it. So because of that, they're not feeling, they're not feeling bad. They think you're being perfectly reasonable, and they know you're not going to put the friends under pressure. So that's it, really. The worst result that you're going to get is 3 new prospects. And I don't often repeat myself when I do these things, but I will repeat it right now. If enough people say no to you doing this, then the worst that can happen is you can get rich.
Can I just say something there, Roger? Can you imagine when you're doing this, folks, and you turn around and say to people, I give out 20 of these cards a day and I get paid 6,000 a year for doing so. The company pays me 6,000 to give away 60 cards a day. They're going to go, what? Yeah. And if they know it's rejection free, because you're sat, whether it be a motorway cafe, whether it be in a bar, no matter where it is, and you're just sharing that message with them, they're going to go, I can do that. That's a system. I'm up for that. That's me. I don't know many people, but I could do that. And I could get into going to people. Now, you're going to be saying, how and when can I get the cards? Roger, have you got the website?
Do you know what? I didn't put it on the slide, but I do have a website. So Simon actually sent a link out, and I'm going to, in fact, as we speak, whilst we're doing this, I'm going to put it in the group right now. Yeah. So you keep talking, I'll send a link.
Okay. So what I've done, I've spoken to a printer, and I've said, listen, if I get people that want 500 cards, how much would that cost them? And this is going to be a card that says their name and their phone number. Not my name, not my phone number, not Roger's name, not Roger's phone number, your name, your phone number. 500 cards. And he said, it'd do that for, and I can't remember what he said, it'd do it for.
I'll tell you right now, 500 cards are £29.
£29. Delivered.
Or, that's delivered.
Yeah. Or
2,000 cards for £39.50.
So an extra
and that would include sending it to Europe as well.
Yeah, Europe's included in the free carriage.
So yeah, I saw Sus move then. I saw her paying attention as she was looking and she's going, oh, yeah, it doesn't apply to us. Yeah, it does now. So that would include shipping to Europe, and they will put on your telephone number. So they're going to put on your name and your international telephone number. So that means, Angela, you could do the same thing over in Portugal. So you can use your Portuguese number, or you can use your English number. You can put whatever you like on.
Sorry, plus the link to watch the teaser, right?
I'm going to put the link to watch the teaser is profitfromyourmobile.com, which is a video that Simon and I shot about 3 months ago in the room that we were all in on Saturday night.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're getting the link on the card as well, right?
The link is on the card. Everything is done. That card, as I showed it you on screen a few minutes ago, those graphics, yeah, the printer has everything laid up. Literally, if you fill that in tonight, he'll have your cards ready for you tomorrow and on the way to you. Yeah. And as we're doing it, I'm putting the link in the Phoenix group.
We actually shot that video when I think Dorota and Seuss was at the event, and not the event just gone, but a couple of events ago. And that was shot then. Now, I will let you know that when I move into my new house, we will shoot a new video, but it will still be on the same website. So if you order the cards, don't be thinking, oh, it's going to be a new site. No, those cards will still be okay to use. The benefit you got with this is a system. This is a system that not only can you do, but you can teach your team or your prospect to do the same. Now, a lot of people will be thinking, oh, I don't know many people. I can't prospect many people. They don't need to. They don't need to. Just go where you normally go, do what you normally do, and you just speak to people. Speak to people, whether it's in a motorway service station, wherever it is. If it's in a pub, in a bar, but it's the way you give them out. The way you give them out and what you say to people. That's the key factor. See, at the end of the day, when a lot of people get involved in this business, they order business cards. What's the benefit of having a business card? Business card does you no favors whatsoever. Nothing. Just gives you your name, your address, and your phone number. So what? So what? Does nothing. With these opportunity cards, these prospecting cards, it does the whole 9 yards. The only thing it doesn't do, it doesn't fly into people's hands. You physically got to give them to people, and that's all you got to do. So Roger's just put the the actual website there, so you can actually go ahead and get those ordered and get them organised and everything else.
And I will say, as far as this is concerned, that the wording that you use is critical. There is something, as far as in sales, there is a process known as word tracks, where sales psychologists put a lot of time and effort in coming up with these word tracks to come up with the correct words, the words that work. And they're tried and tested and evolved, and you can't afford to vary from them. Rick Robury started doing this system more than 20 years ago. And over a period of 20 years, he's tweaked and polished and come up with something that works. But that's how he got Covera from 1 man to 300,000 people in 5 years. Now, 300,000 people in your team, you never have to work ever again in your life.
Never.
1,000 people in your team, you really don't have to work that much. Yeah? You know?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's ask anybody, if everybody could put their camera on and just wave if you was at the event on Sunday and you saw Rick. Just do me a favour, because I'm going to pick on a brand new person that joined yesterday, and that's Scotty. He travelled all the way up from Birmingham to be with us. Now, Scotty, are you? Yeah, you're unmuted. What did you think of what Rick Robury was saying?
You're unmuted, you can speak.
He can't hear. I think he's going to have to put some headphones in.
Okay.
You can't see.
Yes, get a microphone.
We can't hear you. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Ah.
Hey, he's muted. Never good.
So what did you think yesterday? What do you think of Sunday?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was totally my expectations were totally blown. I didn't know. I was coming totally, like I said, we started speaking about it Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I expected, but it surpassed my expectations. It wasn't what I thought I was going to be walking into.
Okay.
Here's the real question, Scotty. Did it leave you feeling, yes, I can do this?
Definitely. Seeing Rick there and the way he explained it and the way he was so natural to him, obviously because it's his system, it made it look so simple. And it's just a case of practicing.
Now, I've got, let me just see if I've got my notes here. You keep talking, I'm going to grab my notes, I'm going to read some things out that I made a notes of from Simon.
The benefit is you've got, with this system, it's like if people think, I mean, you're classic, Scotty. You turn around and said, you don't know loads and loads and loads of people, you got your job, you do that and everything else, but you don't know hundreds and hundreds of people who go and prospect. With this system, you don't need to.
Yeah, you need to know a few and they slowly come in over time.
This is something that you can speak to an individual. So we got the word tracks, we got the cards, we got the whole 9 yards. And that's the major, major benefit.
That's good. I was actually wondering, I'm glad you mentioned the cards because that's one thing I've been thinking about the last couple of days is where I'm going to get some cards from.
Yeah.
So
We've got it for you. Here's the thing that Rick said at the call, at the meeting. Rick turned around and said, look, don't worry, it's a question of numbers this, it's just how many times you say it. Don't worry if you make a mistake. He said, you will never be good at this. But the more you say it, you'll get better. You're never going to give a perfect delivery.
No, of course not.
But his exact words were, skill's important, but volume is better. The number of times you say it. So, you know, yes, you could be an actor with perfect diction, perfect delivery.
We all know that I make mistakes.
To be honest with you, you could be a bin man as long as you say it 1 billion times. You know, repetition that counts. The more you say it, that's what counts. That's what makes the difference. Now,
totally there.
Well, let's hear from a couple of other people. Let's give us a wave if you saw Rick doing that, because a few of you hadn't seen Rick do that before. So
What about
Come
Sue?
on, don't be, I wasn't going to pick on anybody. I was going to get someone to wave and volunteer for a minute.
Now let's pick on.
There's no volunteers. We're going to have to pick on people. Okay, who you going to pick on?
Let's go, Seuss.
Okay, and then we'll pick on Cello because he's waved.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Seuss, you can speak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw Rick do this, and I've got to admit that meant the whole world to me to see the way he did it. Like Scotty said before, it comes so natural to him because hearing you explain it also, Roger, it sounds so easy. The only part that's not easy is surpassing your fears of a no.
Absolutely.
That's the only part that's not easy. But you've just got to go out there and do it. It's not like you can die from it. But
here's the thing: a no is not bad. No, because if someone says no, you say, "Great, give me 3 more names." You've got 3 more people to try with. So a no is not bad.
Yes, and the person you just said no to knows that the other people are not going to get squeezed for a yes either.
Absolutely. And that's the real key as far as this is concerned, because for most people, the reason most people never talk to their friends and family about it is that they're scared that their friends and family will say no.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit of a nonsense, but I've been there as much as everybody else. It goes through people's heads. I don't want to talk to my friends and family in case they say no. So the best way to make sure that they never say no is I'll never actually ask them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a bit crazy and it's a bit counterproductive, but it's perfectly human. But if, however, you don't have to worry, and if you tell them it's okay to say no, first of all, well, then they'll listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
If they thought you were going to force them to make a decision, they'll turn off straight away. If you tell them it's okay to say no, then they'll listen and they might hear something they like. Yeah. And you're not even doing anything anyway, because all you're saying when you hand the card out is, all you're saying is, just go and watch this video. Simon does the explaining.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect system. I'm going to go over to Cello because Cello waved. So Cello volunteered, and it's not often Cello volunteers for things like this.
Yeah.
Cello got thrown in at the deep end on Sunday.
I know. I'm still having nightmares about that.
So tell me what you were going to say, mate.
Well, thanks for pulling me out of that one anyway. You helped me with that anyway. Yeah, thanks, Raj. So, yeah, I was quite bothered about, excuse me, I was worried about that delivery when you say, give me 3 people who may be interested. But I know why I know. And I think that is the best way you can do that, because obviously they say it puts them in an awkward position that they have to say, oh, I have to give you 3 names.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you. I will be completely brutal about this. Having done what I've done for nearly 40 years, I don't mind putting people under pressure. But this doesn't put people under pressure. And I know that most people don't like putting people under pressure. But this is all designed to take pressure off people. It's so cleverly done. It really is genius the way it's put together. Yeah. And I know professional salespeople who will look at it and go, I love that. I'm right into that. Anyone can say that.
It's a great delivery. I love it.
Anyway, let's trot on. That's a great recruitment system, which is risk-free, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now let's look at what else we promoted and launched on the day. And that's the automated Forex product. So many people have been saying to me, oh, the problem is with trading, I don't really know how to do it, and I've lost money, and it's not worked. Now you can forget that, and you can just get it automated. And this has been set up by all of our upline, or one of our upline, called Joe Martinez. And he's now given us a link where you can get it organized. So I'm just going to see if Roger's got the link.
It's coming up.
Okay, it's coming up.
Okay, so we've got past that. And we're going to talk about Auto Forex. So,
Auto Forex.
I've actually looked at this. Simon put this link out yesterday, and a few people seem to have had issues. Simon, you talk through. Tell people what people have said to you, first of all.
Okay, so I sent the link out, and people said, oh, but which one do I do? Which one do I select? And what do I do? And how do I do it? This is all systematic. This is step by step by step by step. Now, I know a lot of us have got IC Markets account, but with this, you get a account that's with one of their brokers. Why? Because their brokers then make the commissions from the trades, which makes it worthwhile. And they're the reasons why they do it. Now, with this automated Forex, is it done personally? Is it done physically? No. It's a bot, B-O-T, which is short for robot. So that's why it's done automated. Now, the benefit is I've got one trade I've got to come out of when it gets into profit or even break even, and I'm just going to leave my Forex trading just to the automation. Why? Because I think it's the biggest time-consuming thing going. Great when you can make an odd £100 here and £100 there in a day. That's fantastic. But then what happens when you lose £100 here and £100 there? That's not appealing. The benefit with the automated one is that it's getting around 10 to 12% a month. A month. Your bank will never, ever pay you anywhere close to that. So if you actually get a website called thecalculatorsite.com and you put, because you've got to set it up with $1,000, which is £800 in UK money. You do the 1,000, put the 1,000 in, $1,000, and you put 12% a month compounded, and you press calculate, and you see how much that's going to be in 60 months, 5 years. The numbers are insane. If I told you how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands it's worth, it'll make you fall off your seat. So I'm not going to do that. If you want to put it in, you can put it in, but I'm not going to do that. But it's absolutely crazy. The deal is, the best way is just to put it in and forget you got it. The benefit you can have is you can have your mobile, so when you're having a meal, or if you're having a pub, or if you're going to a party, you can show your results to your friends and to your family. What a prospecting tool that is. That is a magic. Now, let's say if we was involved in pills, potions, lotions, tablets, whatever, could we say, oh, I tried this product for 6 months and it grew me a third fingernail. Duh. So what? There's no benefit to anyone. It makes no difference. Or if someone might turn around and say, yeah, I was on that product and it made me lose 2 stone, then you could turn around and say, really? From which fingernail? Because a lot of people will look at you and think, oh, yeah. I don't think so. And the benefit is, with products and companies and opportunities like that, do people need to think, oh, I can't get involved in that because I've got to lose weight and I'm a little bit too heavy for it? But with us, people can't do that. You will never get a customer turn around and say, I can't get involved in that company because I'm too poor. That will never happen. The benefit is we can show people a great way to make some extra money. And that's the simplicity of the program. But the automation is absolutely phenomenal. And if I was you guys, I would seriously try and get it set up. Now, some people say to me, oh, but I can't afford it. I have got hundreds and hundreds of people in India that's on the automation. And if they make $2 a week in India, they're living like a king. They are so excited. Now, you might turn around and say to me, well, how can somebody in India afford $1,000? I don't know. I just know that they're getting all sorts of things, all sorts of ways to actually get the money, scrape the money together. And they're going ballistic with it. And that's why you got somebody like Viraj, who's gone in his first 100 days, he's making $4,500 US a month in royalty. He hit platinum in his first 100 days. And he's just going recruitment.
Can I just touch on that, Simon? Because
yeah, you can. One second. They do a Zoom every single day and get between 100 to 130 people a day. Yeah, go on.
How many people were on the call last week? Give us a quick wave. Yeah, just a few. Okay. Viraj came on last week. We weren't expecting him to be on last week. In fact, last week, Simon and I said, okay, we're going to keep it short tonight with short message and just talk about Rick tonight, and then that's it. We were on for longer than ever last week. Viraj blew us away because he told us his story. Now, first of all, when Viraj started back in, was it April?
Yeah.
Got started in April. He had no money himself. So he signed up as a distributor, and then he started trading with a dummy account. And everyone turns around and says, I have to have results. And I'm looking at notes that I made from Rick the other day. And Rick said, use other people's stories until yours is the one that people want to hear. Because your track record is insignificant. Word for word, I wrote it down at the time. Your track record is insignificant. Yet Rick tells us, or people turn around and say to us, people turn around and say, well, you know, I want to get some results first so I can tell people. Well, why? How much do you have to make before you tell people that your business is successful? Because if we've got people making tens of thousands a month or hundreds of thousands a month running this business, why do you think you're making 500 quid will make a difference?
All the people in France, when they had the event at the weekend and they had 6,000 people, they've got 20-year-olds making 50,000 a month.
So all these people were starting, and they were starting with no money. But what they were doing was starting with excitement. They signed up as a distributor. They did some trading. They followed some of the alerts with the dummy account, showed people what's happening on a dummy account, and then signed them up into the business. But because they signed them up into the business, they found their 3, and those people found their 3, and the company gave them money that they could then trade with.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that your people don't have money to trade, I understand that. But they can find, we'll give them the money to trade. Kuvera will give them the money to trade. Help us spread the word. It's like, it's spectacularly powerful. And just sort of sitting back, but it was that fact of just saying that your track record's insignificant. It really, you've got to get a sense of perspective on it. You've got to understand that you're making 200 quid, because no matter how much you come to make on it, if you turn around and you start trading yourself and you trade for 6 weeks and you make £500 in 6 weeks, and then you tell your friend about it, and then your friend says, yeah, but that's like, it took me 6 weeks to do that. I get paid more than that every week from a job. It doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't sound like a lot. The residual income sounds huge. When Rick turns around and says, I hand out 60 of these cards and I get paid £6,000 a year. I hand out 60 of these cards and I get paid 60 grand over the next 10 years, paid monthly. Or I get paid 120 grand, paid over the next 20 years, paid monthly. You've got to grab, we're a marketing business, and marketing is about it's about, we're not telling anyone to tell any lies. I would never, all my life in sales, I do not blag things. Yeah, we do put the best light on something. We do put a best shine on things. Yeah, you tell the right story in the best way, and that's what I just said in that presentation before. It's not what you say; it's how you say it. Yeah. But you can make it sound incredibly powerful. So I'm going to go back to that screenshot for a second, just so that we can show you this auto trader, just so that Simon had said, could I show it? Because some people were having an issue. Signing up with the auto trader is child's play. You go to begrt.com, And I did this on my iPhone. I did it on purpose because most people are going to do it on their phone, so you'll see the screen. If you click on the 3 lines here, you get a choice of different language options, but it's defaulting. You've got English or Spanish there. There's a couple more options there. But it says, first of all, create your MT4 account. And they're suggesting Vantage FX as a broker. If you literally click on that, it's going to take you to Vantage FX and you create your account. Step 2 then is you just come back and you submit your MT4 details and you do it all on this website. So you put in your name, your email address, your MT4 account as according to the way Vantage FX send it to you. Click on the 3 dots here and you'll get to choose the correct server, put your password in, write in what the balance is, tick the boxes. I'd like to receive some more communications. I agree to GDPR conditions. Click go. That's it. It's child's play. To date, we probably have, we've got a small number of people that are on the system so far. And to get people on the system, it's had to be Simon or myself dealing with them and sending them through to Joe Martinez. But because Joe's also been getting people coming from Spain, from India, from Latin America, from India, and from elsewhere in the UK, other than Simon and myself, because we've been getting all of these, with Joe's starting to get bombarded everywhere. Put that website just to make life a little bit easier. And it means everyone can send people to them. So it also means you don't have to wait for us to do it. You can just take control of it yourself right now. Simple as that. So
from what we said so far, guys, has anyone got a question? If you have, wave your hand. We'll unmute you. Anybody got a question? No? Oh, yeah, Gary.
Has. And Cello has. Gary.
Unmute him.
The whole format that you speak about and everything that Rick said, can you put that in writing so I can write it all down? Write it all down word for word. But I can sort of practice it. Are you with us?
You just want me to do everything for you, don't you?
No. I've wrote it all down.
It's lucky I'm that kind of guy and I've done it already.
No. I've wrote it all down. But what I meant was put something down.
Gary.
I've done it already.
Yes.
That's it. Thank you. That's great. I'm writing it down, but what I want to do is I want to practice it. So I know how to write it out.
Okay. Here's the thing to do.
Here we go. Let me tell you the best way to practice it.
That's what I was going to say.
Do it.
Practice it on people. Practice it on people.
I know.
But yes, yes, I will make sure that there is a PDF of everything word for word for every one of you, because I'm a wonderful, warm human being.
Thanks very much.
And I love you all that much. What can I say? So yeah, I'll make sure you get that.
Anybody else got any questions?
Yellow had a question.
Simon, this question for you again. Can you repeat the automated system again, in case I missed something? Because I would love to know how that automated system works.
All you do, Cello, is you just register for it. You make sure that you have enough funds in the trading account, which has got to be at least $1,000 to me, £800, and then it's all done and set for you.
How is it different from the Forex trade?
Well, it is Forex.
No, it's different from manual trading because it's a robot doing it for you.
You don't have to get an alert, put the trade on, put the stop on, put the take profit. You got to do nothing like that. Right. It's just done automatically for you.
Right. Okay.
You just put your money in, take your profit. End of story.
It's one word. It's one word.
Right.
Simple.
Thank you. Cheers.
Simple.
Okay.
Really is simple.
Okay. Anyone else got a question? No? Okay. Has anyone found that useful? Yeah. God, they're an excitable bunch. So has anyone found it exciting?
We do need some.
Susan's excited. Dawn's excited.
We really need some excitement because see what last month's volume was through the roof. This month will go through the roof as well, but it'll only go through the roof if you make it go through the roof. And if you're not hitting rank every month, then you got to ask yourself, well, what am I doing? What am I doing? Trading is great. but trading is limited. I've yet to speak to any multi-millionaires who are traders, but I speak to a lot of network marketers who are multi-millionaires. Networking is the way forward.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Rick told us a ton of things.
Angela's got a question.
Simon, can I just remind you to find out about the event in Lisbon, please?
I will chase Rick. Rick went to Charles de Gaulle Airport in France to get his connecting flight over to America, and he's texting Roger saying they've lost my suitcase. So he's in America without any clothes without his suitcase. He'll have clothes at home, but yeah. But I will chase him up and say what's the venue and everything else. I have already asked him, but I will chase him again.
Okay, because I've got a friend who's in another network marketing business, but she's actually really interested in this, and she's coming over to Portugal. So I'm hoping to get her and another person there. I know that it will be in Portuguese, but I'll probably get a chance to meet Rick, won't I?
You will. But don't forget, when Rick's on the stage, he'll be speaking in English because he doesn't speak Portuguese.
Yeah, it's not going to be in all in Portuguese. Rick travels with interpreters.
Yeah.
I think it would be good for me to go.
Yeah.
But there's no two ways about it.
How far is Lisbon from where you are?
3 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's like us going to
just past Brum.
Yeah, just past Birmingham. Yeah, it'd be worth going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really be worth going.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So,
obviously, can I just ask a question? Obviously, I can see that you are recording. If you can edit your system and all the rest of it, get the recording out. Can I ask you a favour, Rog? Let's not put it in. Let's pee some people off. Let's not put it in the Telegram groups. Let's put it in the WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
Because I will be doing different bits and pieces, incentives and all the other things. And that's going to be as long as people are on WhatsApp. Now, if you're not in my WhatsApp group, you're going to miss out. Can I have a show of hands who's not in my WhatsApp group?
Scotty.
Now, Scotty, you are. I added you in. You would have got this link for this meeting. I know you're new, mate. I know you're only 24 hours old, but you are in the group.
Okay.
So you're all on it. Good. Okay, great.
Okay. So, yes, it is still recording, so it's kept going, so that's cool. We've got this. All right. So, Rick did share a ton of other things with us, but we've got a limited amount of time because we've got an hour now, and that's plenty, and we've covered a few things. Rick told us a ton of other things. Rick has another thing that he does with that card, because what he also does with that card is he does an electronic version of it, an e-card. And with the e-card, he has different word tracks that he uses that he sends out via Messenger. Different words that he uses that he sends out via WhatsApp or via voicemail, voice text, where he sends the same graphic with the same information and has a variation on the same request for people to look at it. Now, who'd like to see or hear how to grow your business using WhatsApp, Messenger? Yeah? Well, that's what we're going to talk about next week. Okay? So I've still got a ton more stuff to do, and I still even haven't started to look at the video that I shot the other day. But I do have word for word everything that Rick said. And I do make, I've got my notes here. I've got mountains of them. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Guys, how many of you are going to be inviting people for tomorrow's opportunity call? Okay. If you really want to tip, if you really want to make some money, that's the scenario. I know there's an individual that's going out there speaking to loads of people and wanting to get together with them and having a coffee and everything else and to present the opportunity. That to me would be a nightmare. I like the easy option, and I like to put people into the system. And for me, the system is the Zoom call. Now, the benefit is, it's like, can I explain the opportunity with the excitement? Yes, I can. With regards to Scotty, who joined yesterday, it's like I invited Scotty up from Birmingham to the meeting. Now, would I and could I have spoken to him? I would have said a few words to him, but I like to do the easy way, the system way, because the benefit of doing that, your prospect will turn around and say to you, there's a system, because this concept is quite confusing. I don't know if I can explain it, but if they know, all they've got to do is be a professional inviter by inviting people onto the Zoom. Job done. Because then what they need to do is follow up their prospects. The benefit you've got when you're on the Zoom, you can see if all your prospects are on the Zoom. So if you know they're on, then you can just follow them up. And the benefit is I always, when I used to get people on the Zoom, if I know they wasn't on, I'd still phone them up and say, what did you like best about it? Oh, I couldn't make him. My next door neighbour's dog got run over. Oh, there was just so many people on. I just thought I missed you. They wouldn't have a Scooby-Doo because they wasn't on. Just the way you approach it and attack it.
I've got a question for everybody as well, Simon, a different question, and it's only just come to me. But I want your guys' opinions on this. I'd seen Rick do that presentation before, and I loved it when I saw it. But when I watched it the other day, I thought, we should be showing this to more people. How many people think that if we showed that, let's say a shorter, like a 5-minute version of that as part of the Zoom presentation, so that whenever their prospect comes on, their new prospects can see how easy it is? How many people think that would be a benefit? Do you think that's likely to get people more excited and more likely to join if they can see something that has them saying, yes, I can do that? Yeah?
Every prospect will want to see if they can see a duplicatable system. A lot of people don't want to be consulting or contacting their friends and family.
Right.
So if they see a system that they didn't need to do that, it didn't have to do that, then they'd be all over it like a rash.
Okay, I can't do this by tomorrow, but I probably can do it by next week. So we're going to tweak, and we're going to make some changes to the presentation. We need our presentations to be short and sexy. Susan, have you got your hand up because you want to quit? You've got another question? Yeah. Okay. Let's just. Yep,
no, I just wanted to make a comment because I think it would be valuable also for new distributors if we had little videos with like Rick explaining his card system, just as a parallel to what Corey does in the back office when you want to find out about how to put up the trades, so that it's just explained shortly how to do that in one video, so you don't have to necessarily watch 30 minutes to find out about one thing. That's
I would love that. And he went and sat in front of the camera, so the camera was pointing at the back of his head.
Exactly. You should ask him to do that. It would save him time and give him some more sleep anyways.
Next time we get over here, maybe we'll put the camera points at the right place. But all right. But nonetheless, I think the important thing is that we get that message across to people, to show people that we have a simple, exciting, duplicatable business, because network marketing is about duplicatable. Angela, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just thinking, since this automated system has come in, would it be worth having a short bit in the presentation about that and about the 10 to 12% per month, and how you'd be you won't even get that in a bank over a year?
It's an interesting concept. We'll have a chat about that and see if we can come up with something.
We'll look at it. But we changed our presentation a few weeks ago, and it got people excited for a short while. But we're not convinced exactly everything that we exactly wanted it to do. So I suspect that we may be making a big-ish change.
Yeah. We're always looking to improve.
Yeah, because the automated system is obviously something that people can do without having to sit there watching their phones and without alerts going off. And
that's the benefit. So
yeah,
did I miss it? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? It's like,
yeah.
They don't miss it. Now, don't forget, you can do the alerts as well if you want to.
Yeah.
As well as do the automation.
Yeah. But 10 to 12% is actually phenomenal, really.
It's a staggering amount of money. It really is a staggering amount of money. If you happen to be a genius like Cynthia, you can read the charts like magic, then that's great. We're just not all as clever as Cynthia.
Yeah.
So, but the fact is that we have something that absolutely everyone can do. So we've got to make the most. And the trick is, and it's the thing that I got up more than anything else out the weekend. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
It's simple. Right, guys, I'm going to keep it simple now. I'm going to shut up. Okay. So we'll see you all tomorrow evening. There's as many prospects as possible. I'll keep it exciting, and we'll have a good one. And we'll see you next week with more of Rick's stuff on how to do this so you can spread it. Yeah.
What about if some of you actually ordered your cards and actually used it and got some people on the Wednesday Zoom and they actually joined? Could you imagine if we then had a Tuesday Newsday with results and we had your new people on the community saying how they joined and everything else? That would be stunning.
Yep, they absolutely would.
Even if you just got 500 cars and just tried 500 cars for 29 quid or whatever it is, it's just worth it. It's just worth it.
All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.